Hello again, you happiness seekers. Welcome to Redirect Yourself, or welcome back. So glad you made it here today. I am going to attempt to keep these videos nice and short, as you may already know. So you can pop into Redirect Yourself anytime you're on the go, just looking for a little bit of a tip or trick or coping skill, or maybe you're having a particular problem and you've searched through my videos to find a solution. So please feel free to use the channel in any way that's helpful to you, because the goal here is for you to feel better, all of us to feel better. With that being said, this video is a continuation of cognitive distortions. I have a few installments. It's a long list, and to keep the videos really short, right, I need to break it up over several videos. What are cognitive distortions? Okay, good question. They are ways that we might think of things that are actually distorted. So when we think in these types of ways, what happens is we actually have thinking that is not rational, not logical. It's distorted. So cognitions or thoughts and distortions obviously would indicate that they're not accurate. They're distorted, kind of like a funhouse mirror when you go to the fair. So let's talk about some of these, and hopefully we will get a few of them in this short period of time. Okay, mind power. Mind power is something that is very much akin to the hula hoop. It is that you basically think that by changing the way that you behave, or perhaps not saying something, or saying something you don't actually mean, like people pleasing, right? That you can actually control what the other person will think. In most cases, we engage in this mind power thing in order to get someone to like us. Usually that is the case. We want them to not dislike us, so we might withhold information or not give our real opinion or agree to things that we don't really prefer to agree to. And in that way, we think that by doing that, we can control, aka get them to like us, or get them to not dislike us, or get them to feel in a positive way about us. Because remember, thoughts and feelings are very connected. There's a lot of examples of that, but it does fall in the hula hoop. That would be me attempting to control your hula hoop with what I do in my own. Mind reading. You arbitrarily conclude that you know what someone is thinking. Usually this is a negative, but not necessarily. However, if this were the positive, kind of how I like to use it, you probably wouldn't be here or looking for tips on mental health, because quite a lot of these refer back to our thinking processes, right? And so there is a lot of evaluation, awareness, and then implementation of these tools. So, you basically just decide that the person's reaction or facial expressions or what they're doing or saying is in some way related to you or how you think it is, and you don't bother to check it out. Minimization. That is when you inappropriately think, shrink rather, positive things in your life and magnify, which is one of our previous cognitive distortions, the negative. Because unfortunately, what I have found to be true is that as humans, we really tend to want to be right. We want to be right. And that is so ubiquitous that we want to be right even when being right means that we'll be hurt. So if I think I'm stupid and I collect evidence that shows that I'm stupid. But of course, this particular cognitive distortion is minimization, which would mean if I have any evidence that comes to my attention to show that I am not stupid, I am going to minimize that evidence. So that's what minimizing is, when you discount positive events in order to prove correct a negative theory. Why would anyone want to do that? But watch yourself. You'll find I do it too, that you engage in the process of negating positive and self-promoting experiences. All right, so we are at a little over 4 minutes. So I'm going to give one more. Oppositional thinking. You take the opposite side of an argument, and I do discuss this in another video, without considering the real merits of that stance. I often will call this someone being contrary. So just deciding to give a contradiction for the act of giving the contradiction, not because there is a conviction of that particular belief or standpoint that that person has, but rather they just like being devil's advocate, which has its place. Certainly, open discussions of philosophical things, people who are in a group who are discussing possibly various viewpoints of subject matter, then certainly wanting to hear opposing thoughts on the subject, especially things like preparing for a speech or putting together some kind of a team motto or something, mission statement kind of thing. You certainly would like for people to say, hey, well, that kind of sounds like this, or someone could take it that way. So, of course, sometimes there is a place for that. But if you find you are consistently engaging in being contrary with other people's viewpoints, without really a whole lot of conviction of it, meaning you believe the stance you are taking, but rather you're doing it just to be oppositional. Maybe look at the purpose of that, but that is a cognitive distortion, because certainly there are times when that stance would be a meritable stance. So I hope that some of these help. The goal with these is that we don't each of us engage into every single one of these cognitive distortions, of course. However, many of us from time to time do engage in multiple versions of these. And so if you can identify the ones that you say, oh, I do that. I sometimes do that. Or, wow, I think I do that a lot. I'm going to start paying more attention. If you can do that and identify it, then, only then, once you are aware that you are doing it, can you actually begin the process of becoming aware of it in the moment and changing that. So hopefully, if you find a couple that you do find yourself engaging in, you will be able to use this to stop yourself. Anyway, we're at 7 minutes, so I'm going to sign off now. Thank you again for coming to Redirect Yourself. I hope that you will subscribe, possibly make a comment, and or share the video, like the video. And my name is Donna. I will look forward to seeing you again really soon. Thanks.